In this Kenshi video, I'm going to switch it up a bit. So far, we've been building our evil empire slowly, filling it with powerful gangsters and warriors. But right now, Bad Guy City is broke. There's been constant raids from the Vashek Empire, and the colony is struggling to survive. In the last video, we recruited this awesome swamp frog named Ribbit, who I love very much. Ribbit is the best. On top of that, we got 10 new recruits who have been training up in our training building. And we also found out that Bad Guy City is kind of a wasteland because we can't grow any crops here. Not even hemp, so we can't even get high. We need to get the fuck out of here to make money. I mean, Bad Guy City will always be our first city and headquarters, but B01 can't stand this place, dog. Alright, you gotta look at it this way. The group is constantly surrounded by sheks, both from the Shek Empire and from the random butt fluff bandit groups that there are all over the place. On top of that, there's barely any places for us to shop now because we're basically banned from everywhere for fighting. We got people like Brittany Ears fucking starving to death in the base. Like, I'm one undercover YouTuber infiltrating my Kenshi series away from being exposed for running an abusive cult. Poor Brittany Ears, I just feel so bad for them. So before I have to rename her to Brittany Bones, I sent Human over to the way station to pick up some food. 20,000 cats worth of food doesn't really last that long. Just like in the real world, in Kenshi, the price of food is insane. But we need to keep everyone fed, so we're gonna have to get a little bit more evil in our ways of making money, and I have just the idea. Today, we're gonna be becoming bandits in Kenshi. That's right, no longer will the dust bandits be trying to rob us for our jewels, it'll be the top G's robbing everyone. Currently, we've got a lot of different random fucknuts attacking the city constantly, so it'll have different gangsters go one by one and pick up all the weapons that the sheks were dropping. Each weapon that they were bringing to our base sells for around 1,000 to 4,000 cats, so it's just money waiting to be made. Now, the only problem is that placing the weapons in our market stalls just doesn't seem to work. I mean, we end up making a few thousand cats every day, but it seems like a majority of our tourists and citizens are broke. They've already spent all their money on hash and whores, so we'll be forced to travel with the weapons and sell them somewhere else. There's a way station close by, luckily, so we'll... Oh, god damn it. A fucking bone dog fucking up my narrative. I'm sorry, guys. I promise that won't happen again. These are very professional videos. Alright, so as I was saying, there's a way station to the south, and is that a fucking Shek guard following us? Piece of shit! The way station isn't too far, so we'll make our money by selling the weapons there. While the group was traveling, of course they ended up running into another Shek group, but that's going to be the entire goal of this video. As the Sheks are already hostile towards us, it only makes sense to be robbing them. We'll be able to take down a bunch of them in this area if we're hunting for them, and they're like one of the only groups that spawn here other than hivers and traders. So by the end of the day, the top Gs got to the way station and began to sell all of their weapons. The way station didn't care that we looted these weapons from dead Sheks, so we're able to make about 60,000 cats from the first trip. This is when I realized it could be very profitable for us. It took maybe like 10 minutes to make that 60,000, so the top Gs would continue to search for Sheks to ambush. The first group of Sheks the group found were very small, you know, only a few of them, but they bum-rushed poor Ribbit and nearly fucking killed him. He was all passed out on the floor looking like a slain soldier. Poor Ribbit was only like 10 damage away from dying. So after that, I made it a point to always have someone carrying Ribbit for the time being. Right now, Ribbit is squishy and tiny as fuck, and basically gets one shot, so I don't want him to die. I already love him. At 3 AM, the top Gs found another group of Sheks and entered combat. Now, first, it was only a few of them, but after we looted most of the corpses, another group of Sheks ran into us, and then on top of that, a Western Hive scumbag trader fuck found us. He threatened us by sending his deadly ass Garus after us. Now, if you don't remember, I got a mod that makes some of the animals wacky strong, and Garus are one of them. They can hit for up to 400 damage, so one hit can kill like almost anyone in our party. Zagan knew it was time to press Q and use his ultimate, so he began shooting projectiles at the Garus as fast as possible, aiming for vital areas to ensure a kill. After he focused on the Garus, he would then make his way onto the rest. Over half of the top Gs were knocked out, and the ones that were still alive were struggling to fight against the Western Hive traders and a group of Shek guards. By the end of the battle, the top Gs would just barely pull through, and there'd be a huge pile of bodies, from Sheks to humans to hivers to Garus. Just what a mess. First things first, I'm the realist. I'm sorry guys, okay. So first things first, they needed to make sure that nobody bleeds to death. I really hate when that happens, and it really bums out the mood of the series. And second, we need to now loot all the bodies, as there's a lot of money to be made here. The hivers have good weapons, and the sheks have good weapons, so we'll be taking as much as we can. Since the Garus were killed and they had backpacks on them, which could hold a shit ton of weapons and wares, I decided to do a big brain move, and I would pick up the Garus and use them as backpacks, as we can still fill their inventories with shit and then carry them to a town, then sell the stuff out of them. There were 4 caravan Garu backpacks with some of the wares that the hivers were selling, mostly being building materials and low value items, but still, this was a lot. After about 15 in real life minutes of looting and healing, the group had about 3 Garus filled with weapons and wares to sell. So the next goal would be to get them to a way station and sell all of these. There's easily 100 to maybe 150k cats worth of loot to sell, so I was pumped. At 16:30 they arrived and they were greeted by a guard running at them to fight them. I guess since the gangsters have the Garus picked up and the Garus are owned by the Western Hive, I'm thinking that flags us as bad guys, so the entire way station was now wanting to fight us. For fuck's sakes, man, like, this means the only other places I can sell shit at right now is either the swamp, which is not happening, y'all know how I feel about the swamp. So realistically, the only other place, like the closest that we can go to, is in Mongrel, and that's still quite a distance to go, and we can't take the Garus because now I know they're gonna flag us as bad guys. So I would have to take the backpacks off of the Garus and then drop the slayed beasts, so now the group was on their way to Mongrel. This was gonna take a long time though, since they had so many weapons, their inventory was overloaded. The Garu backpacks had like 300 kilos in them, that's like 600 pounds worth of weapons. I could have called this video my 600-pound life in Kenshi. You know what? I'm gonna do that soon. I better not see any of these other fucking Kenshi guys making that video now that it's my idea. You fuckers know who I'm talking about. I know you're watching this shit. See any motherfucker making a 600-pound life video in Kenshi before me, I swear to you, I'll do something. No, I don't really give a fuck, but that idea's out there, okay? It's up in the air. Let me know if you want to see that video come to reality. Luckily for the gangsters, Vane wasn't as bad as the Sheklands, as they'd be able to make it through and get into the Foglands easily. Once they were there, it was only a matter of plowing through all the fogmen that stood in their way between Mongrel. At this point, poor Ribbit was starving, so we need to get some food ASAP as well. Luckily, the gangsters arrived at the bar in Mongrel and were able to sell what weapons they had on them. The weapons that were in the Garu's backpacks were now stuck inside of the Garu's backpacks. Since you cannot open backpacks in Kenshi without putting them on a character, we have no Garus to put these backpacks on. So they're essentially useless and just carrying the weapons. They're just fucking 600-pound backpacks, that's all they are, so yeah, that really sucks. Only way we'll end up getting a pack beast as well is from a beast trader or finding one in the wild and somehow subduing it. I'll have to hope a beast trader shows up at the base, and coincidentally, you know that whole guy that caused the whole Where's Waldo game that I play every time we go to Mongrel? Finally, of course, he appears. There he is. Aw, sweet. But guess what? I don't got a CPU core anymore because I probably sold it for fucking crack money. Nothing can go right in this series, man. Don't worry. Just one day, okay? One day at like episode 47, we'll be able to recruit that guy. Just give me a bit. Now we had to get out of Mongrel, and that was going to be the main big challenge. While we were still slow since we had these crazy heavy backpacks on us, it was a huge disadvantage because any fogmen that saw us could instantly run up to us, catch up to us, and stop us for combat. The fogmen are all really weak compared to the gangsters, so these battles would be nothing but time slowdowns for the group, and there were a lot of them. Eventually, they would clear out through the foglands and enter the hivelands once again, but this time it was proving to be hell for the group to get through. My game just kept crashing at random points in between these two cities. I don't know why, so I guess the rain was too much that day. Now that the group was back at the base, we could replenish our food storage and add about a week to everyone's lifespan. At this point, groups of Sheks would begin to arrive at Bad Guy City, starting with a group of strong Shek guards, and then an hour later, a group of wild berserkers. It was just nuts. At least Bad Guy City was heavily defended with everybody being home now, but the 10 recruits I got from the last episode that have all been training and leveling up still need to get some upgrades for weapons and armor, as right now they just have normal clothes and sticks. So since we'll need a lot of money for that, after each attack the top Gs would continue to fill their inventories back up with lots of weapons until everyone had their inventory full. At around 13 o'clock, a huge group of Sheks appeared at the gates, and this scared me for a brief second. It was looking like it was going to be a crazy ass attack. But since the Sheks were attacking our city, a local trading caravan ran up, which is a stronger group than likely who guards Catlon. This guy has all of these Garus with him, and he unleashed them on the Sheks, and within seconds, dozens of Sheks were dropping to the ground. This allowed us to loot even more weapons, easily 3 to 4 dozen weapons. And by 14 o'clock on day 105, the top Gs were looking for a couple more groups to rob so they could fully load up with weapons and have a full inventory of stolen goods to go sell. We still have the Garu weapons that are now placed at the base, but we won't be able to sell them until we get Garus. So the group would run around until 5 AM when they finally got to the way station and started selling all their loot. I guess it isn't a problem if we sell stolen goods, as long as we don't carry the dead bodies into the way station. I suppose that makes sense, but still, it's pretty fishy. Either way, it brought the gangsters up to 132,000 cats. With another 100k of weapons at the base in the backpacks, they at least had made a $250,000 in under 1 week, proving that becoming bandits in Kenshi can not only be highly profitable, but it's also highly rewarding, as everyone got stronger and got a lot of experience with each battle we got into with the Sheks. Anyways, I hope you guys all liked the video. Remember to subscribe and leave a comment. It helps keep me motivated and whatnot. The Discord server has been popping recently, so feel free to join that and check it out. And check out the Kenshi Gang series playlist in the description for all of the Kenshi Gang episodes. Anyways though, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.